Being a god is not an experience I assume most of us are privy to. However, being a child, trying to attain the parents' love and approval for who they are, or being a parent, facing the responsibility of protecting and nurturing a child, are human experiences that shape who we are and phases of life that all of us go through. In God of War, godhood is portrayed as a double-edged sword. First, as a gift, illustrated by Atreus' curiosity, tenacity, and genuine intrigue of himself and his capabilities upon being revealed of his godly powers. On the other hand, Kratos, who has experienced the deepest anguish, dread, and destruction brought upon by his godly powers, refrains from viewing it as anything but a curse, binding someone as a perpetual target for other gods, unable to appreciate the beauty and peacefulness that comes from being normal, something he wished for Atreus to experience but only further strained the bond due to the secrecy. In this video, I want to explore the narrative significance of godhood by deeply analyzing the development of Kratos, Atreus, and those around him, more specifically how the inner struggle of Atreus' unknown godhood facilitates monumental shifts in the characters, and how godhood is meticulously utilized as a storytelling device to convey its underlying themes of humanity, identity, and paternal struggles. The journey begins with a simple yet profound mission: to fulfill the dying wish of Faye, Kratos' late wife and Atreus' mother, by spreading her ashes from the highest peak in all realms. Kratos, a god burdened by his violent past, is thrust into the role of a father guiding his young son following his wife's death. Atreus, who is unaware of his divine heritage, is set to tackle a ravaging quest that leads to multiple encounters with mythical creatures and gods of the Norse realm in the simple journey of spreading their mother's ashes at the highest peak. This seemingly straightforward task becomes the foundation for an emotional and mythical journey that challenges Kratos and Atreus to confront their inner struggles. Before Atreus learns of his godhood, this narrative focuses on Kratos' attempt to shield his son from the burdens of divine power, while grappling with his own tumultuous past as the god of war. Kratos' fear of his son discovering their godhood stemmed from his guilt and shame as a god who once embraced violence and vengeance. Kratos sees his godhood as a curse, a source of destruction that alienated him from his humanity and led him on his path to vengeance which toppled the Greek pantheon. This fear drives his emotionally distant parenting style as he struggles to reconcile his desire to protect Atreus with the inability to connect with him. Kratos' stern demeanor and reluctance to share his past create tension in the relationship, as Atreus perceives his father as cold and unyielding. Atreus, on the other hand, is an innocent child navigating the grief and self-doubt. He idolizes his mother and yearns for his father's approval, but his lack of confidence manifests in frustration and insecurity. Unaware of his godhood, Atreus struggles to understand why his father pushed him so hard and why he feels so different from others. Moreover, it further fuels his self-doubt, as he believes himself to be fathers capable of physical and magical feats observed through other gods and his father. This dynamic sets the stage for a compelling exploration of identity and trust, as the two characters clash and grow in response to the challenges they face. Key events before the revelation highlight these tensions. Early in the journey, they encounter the stranger, later revealed to be Balder, whose godly resilience and cryptic comments foreshadow the greater conflict to come. The fight with Balder serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of godhood, as Kratos is forced to unleash his latent power to protect his son. This battle introduces the theme of divine conflict, hinting at the broader implication of the journey, while deepening the father-son dynamic. Through these early chapters, Kratos' primary goal is survival and protection. He trains Atreus in combat, urging him to close his heart to it, a lesson rooted in Kratos' fear of his son succumbing to the same bloodlust that once consumed him. Meanwhile, Atreus begins to exhibit signs of his latent godhood, such as his ability to understand ancient language and his surprising resilience in battle. These moments create tension, as Kratos' silence about his true nature leaves Atreus confused, but also incapable of confining his unknown power. Atreus' inner struggle with his identity is most prominently characterized by the recurrent motif of his sickness, briefly mentioned at the start of the journey, and re-emerges in scenarios that facilitate his inner godly powers as a requirement for survival, such as him protecting Kratos when consumed by the light of Alfheim, the first encounter Magni and Modi, and his second encounter Modi, where it reaches its boiling point, leaving him unconscious and requiring immediate help from Freya. The theme of family and parenthood trumping godhood is ever present throughout the game, as further evidenced by Kratos' desperate plea to Freya for help, even after lamenting the secrecy of her identity as a Valkyrie goddess. Similarly, Freya disregards Kratos' plea for help, but upon hearing of Atreus' sickness, immediately opens up to them and offers immediate help with no obligation or debt. Both characters demonstrate that familiar bonds, particularly with the children, take precedence over their identities as gods, reinforcing the game's emphasis on family. Lastly, before the revelation of Atreus' godhood, Kratos has to go back to his past and confront the Blades of Chaos. The very Blades of Chaos that once wielded to commit unimaginable atrocities, slay gods, and even take the families of his wife and daughter, and are repurposed as instruments of salvation for Kratos' only remaining family, his son. This transformation is deeply symbolic, making a pivotal moment in Kratos' journey of redemption. The act of reclaiming these blades is not only just a tactical necessity, but a profound acceptance of his past. He underscores the theme of identity by showing that Kratos cannot simply erase his history. Instead, he must confront it, wield it, and ultimately redefine his purpose. This iconic scene not only highlights Kratos' growth, but also reinforces the central message of accepting godhood and the struggle to reconcile one's past while striving to be better for those we love. The turning point of the relationship comes when Atreus discovers the truth about his godhood. This revelation occurs after an intense confrontation in which Kratos is forced to reveal the divine nature as Atreus overhears Kratos remark him as a curse. The immediate aftermath of this revelation shifts the dynamic between father and son as Atreus begins to grapple with the implication of his newfound identity. For Atreus, learning he is a god initially fills him with excitement and a sense of superiority. His innocence constitutes him channeling his thoughts into mythical ideas such as turning into an animal, something he is ironically capable of by the second game. However, as their journey progresses, he adopts a cocky and reckless attitude, testing his limits and challenging his father's authority, underestimating the consequences of his actions. His arrogance is at full display during confrontation with Sindri, where Atreus disregards for Sindri and viewing him as an inferior being highlights his struggle to balance his newfound powers with humility. This is also reflected in the game's backdrop, with the weather changing from blooming skies to piercing thunders. Kratos, in contrast, becomes increasingly concerned about Atreus' behavior. Seeing his son exhibit traits reminiscent of his own past, Kratos is forced to confront his fears head-on. The revelation of Atreus' godhood intensifies Kratos' internal conflict, as he realizes that his attempts to suppress his past and shield his son from the truth have rather backfired. This period of the story explores the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of responsibility, as both characters must learn to navigate their roles as gods and as family. This conflict is first unraveled upon the third encounter with Modi, who, unlike the previous two other ones, appears brutally beaten and humiliated by his father Thor due to the previous encounter resulting in Magni's death. Atreus, emboldened by his newfound godhood, kills him in cold blood, ignores Kratos' command for restraint. This act, driven by arrogance and a skewed sense of justice, makes a turning point for Atreus, whose godhood begins to corrupt his judgment and moral compass. This conflict is amplified by Kratos' own reluctance to fully share the dark truths of his past. As Atreus becomes more reckless and defiant, Kratos faces the painful realization that his son's godhood, if unchecked, could lead Atreus down the same destructive path Kratos himself once walked. This creates a poignant parallel between father and son, both grappling with the intoxicating pool of power and responsibility it demands. This chapter of the story serves as a pivotal moment in the journey, laying bare the dangers of unchecked ego and struggle to balance identity with responsibility. Atreus' impulsiveness and arrogance not only strain his relationship with Kratos, but also foreshadow his immense challenges they will face together as they continue their quest. Following this, Atreus also becomes unresponsive to our game inputs, to which his absence is vividly noticeable, and the encounter becomes considerably more difficult. Such characterization of the conflict through gameplay changes is another excellent feature of the game, enhancing our immersion and understanding of paternal conflicts. The turning point in the conflict arises during their journey to Helheim, the realm of the dead. After Atreus' rebellious act towards Kratos, it sparks a tumultuous conflict between Kratos, Atreus, and Balder, in which the struggle releases them all to be transported to Helheim. Kratos is confronted by visions of his past, most prominently the murder of his own father, Zeus. These visions serve as a reminder of the consequences of his choices, prompting him to open up to Atreus and guide him towards a different path. At the same time, Atreus begins to understand the weight of his godhood and the importance of empathy, restraint, and working together to fulfill the mother's wishes. The shared experiences facing their fears in Helheim strengthens their bond as father and son begin to work together with mutual understanding. As Kratos and Atreus near the end of their journey, they face a final confrontation with Balder. This battle serves as a thematic climax, as it brings together the story's central themes of power, legacy, and redemption. Balder, consumed by his hatred for his mother, Freya, represents a destructive potential of godhood while fueled by unchecked emotions and anger. In contrast, Atreus and Kratos' unity and understanding allows them to overpower Balder and defeat him. However, as Kratos aims for the finishing blow, It is now Atreus who keeps his father in check, encouraging him to spare Balder, symbolizing growth into a harmonious god that's capable of restraint and self-control. However, Balder, still overcome by his pure hatred for Freya, aims to kill her, in which Kratos intervenes against Freya's wishes and kills him, preventing the perpetual cycle of parasite from unfolding. Kratos killing Balder serves as a culmination of the game's exploration of family, identity, and the struggles of parenthood. Balder's hatred for Freya and his inability to forgive her reflects the destructive nature of unresolved familial conflict, while Freya's refusal to let Balder go underscores the pain of parents' unconditional love, even at their own life. Kratos' intervention, despite Freya's protests, is a rejection of the cycle of vengeance and violence that defined gods for ages, a cycle he refuses to pass on to his son Atreus. This moment also signifies Kratos' growth. By sparing Balder initially and only killing him to save Freya, Kratos demonstrates the balance between power and restraint, the lesson he has been teaching Atreus throughout their journey. Atreus, in turn, mirrors this growth by encouraging compassion, signaling his development into a god who values harmony over ego. Overall, the story challenges the traditional views of gods as being ruled by power and hubris, presenting Kratos and Atreus as exceptions who strive to embrace humanity's struggles, loss, forgiveness, and self-discovery. This nuanced exploration of flawed yet evolving characters creates a deeply emotional and resonant tale. It is remarkable that a game set in such a mythical setting with world-bending deities that make humanity look like an afterthought can yet still present a grander story. Godhood meticulously utilizes Godhood as a storytelling device to convey its underlying themes on humanity, identity, and parental struggles. By framing divine power as a burden intertwined with responsibility, the game metaphorically mirrors real-life struggles, the fear of passing down flaws, the quest to protect loved ones, and the search for redemption. This unique approach allows players to deeply connect with Kratos and Atreus, make their journey feel profoundly human. By the end of the game, Kratos, who once saw Godhood as a curse, now views it as an opportunity to guide his son and break the cycle of violence. Atreus, who once struggled with self-doubt and arrogance, emerges as a compassionate and self-assured individual that is capable of self-control and restraint. In doing so, Godhood transcends the mythical trappings to deliver a story that resonates universally, reminding us that even gods must wrestle with the complexities of human emotions, identity, and parent-child connections.